Hi, Nana here. Good morning and then good evening to you. Fine. So I'm in US. Uh, now welcome back to the next day's session on procurement, Fusion procurement implementation. Let me begin the session now. So let me go there and then log in now. Please stick to the prefixes whichever I have given now. Fine. It is C00_IMP. It will be C01, C02, etc., etc. And then I have now changed the password to Oracle 123, capital O. I click on sign in, and then we'll be going inside now. So he's an implementer who is having the application implementation consultant role, AIZ role. So he is now enabled for this. If you drop down, what happens? You'll be having a setup and maintenance. So this will be available only when you have a AIZ role. Otherwise, it will not be possible at all. So we go there, go ahead on this now. And then we have completed up to step number 14 now. Now we are in the 15th step, in which what happens? We are now going to give the values now. So if you go there and then see on the EBIS now, if you go there and have a look at the EBIS now. So in EBIS, what happens? You go to the setups, and then you go to the financials. You go to the what's called flux fields now, and then go to the key, and then go to the values now. So we are now seeing the segments now. Here in the segments, if you see, we already seen the segments now. Go there and then query capital G percentage, capital L percentage, and then query this now. So you are having the accounting flux field in which you now make a subquery on this operations accounting flux. So when you query it, what happens? You have it now. Click on the segments, and then we have 5 segments. And then remember, the company is going to be the balancing segment. Plug field qualifier is a balancing segment. We need one balancing segment, and then we need one cost center. The department is a cost center, and then the one is what? Then it's an external. So next account is natural account. So we need at least this minimum one. So there is no explicit specification of this as a requirement in the EBIS, whereas there in Fusion we have to make it as a required one. Then only what happens, it will be getting completed now. Now we go for the values now. So the flux field qualifiers will now qualify the segment. The segmental qualifiers will now qualify the values. Now we are going to go for the values now. So the values will be qualified with the segmental qualifiers now. Close it, and then go to the values, and then let us query it now. So this is the navigation setup line, this thing, financials, flux fields, and then values now. So here I will now go there and then put the structure. Structure is what? Operations accounting flux field. So operating flux field. The segment is first. We'll now go for the company segment now. Company segment is an independent one. Click on OK, and then find it out. You'll have plenty of values over here now. We are going to create a value. So once when you see a value, what happens if you go there and go to the hierarchies qualifiers here? What happens? We have got 2 such segmental qualifiers. One is what? Allow budgeting and allow posting. So we also have a similar such thing in Fusion now. We have a segmental qualifiers for the segment values now. Fine. So allow budgeting and allow posting. Fine. We'll now go and then give the company value now. Fine. Go there and then see the company value. So here we go there and then have a look at it. What is the navigation? Manage chart of accounts, value sets, and then in which what happens, you have to go there. So click on it. Go to the setup and maintenance. The setup and maintenance. I will now say manage chart of accounts, value sets. Manage percentage, char percentage, PAL value percentage, set percentage. Fine, I'm going to query it now. So let me query it. Manage chart of accounts, value sets. One. So manage chart of accounts, value sets, values now, not manage chart of accounts, value sets. I'm not going to query this now. Find this task. I'm going to run manage chart of accounts, value sets. Click on it, and then let me query all my value sets. So my value sets are beginning on C00. So let me go and then query on C00, and then populate the values now. Fine. Here I will now put C00, and then click on search. You'll be getting all the 3 ones. So first one, the company one, I'm going to give. So here also what happens, you'll be seeing able to see the segmental qualifiers coming up over here. There are segmental qualifiers. So the segmental qualifiers are allow budgeting and allow posting. So we have seen the flux field qualifiers. Now we are going to see the segmental qualifiers along with the values now. Fine, click on cancel. So we go there and then do it now. So I keep my cursor on the company and then click on the manage values button. There is a manage values button. Fine, click on it. I go there and then let me create the values. If I click on plus now, I'm going to create 2 values, 10 and 11 now. Fine, click on plus. Let me create 10 and 11 now. So the value is 10, and then description is also 10. No, indeed. And then here, what happens? Summary is no. Summary is no means what? It is a transactable account. If the summary is going to be yes, it is not a transactable account. It is only for summary purpose. So allow budgeting is this, allow posting is this. Fine. These two are yes, no. Fine. Click on save and close, by which what are the first values now created. So these two segmental qualifiers we are now giving it. Fine. Click on save and close, just like any BIS. So the first value is now created. So let me get another value. Fine. Click on plus and then let me get another value of 11 now. Fine. So allow budgeting and the thing. Remember not to make the summary as yes now. Fine. If you make a summary as it is not a transactable account. It is only for summary purposes. So if you click on search, it will now show you both the values now 10 and 11 over here now. So the company is now having a value of 10 and 11. So you know completed save and close. Come out of it. Let us go to the department. So the department I'm going to give a value of 100 and 101. Fine. Go there. Go to the department. And then click on manage values. And then here click on plus now. I'm going to give 100 and 101 now. The value is 100 here. Fine. Here again, allow budgeting, allow posting is enabled. Fine. Click on save and close. And then I'll give 101. So two values I'm going to keep it for this exercise now. Fine. Click on plus now. And then I give 101 now. 101 and then give a tab. And then description is also 101. And then click on save and close. This is now completed. So we are given two values for the department, two values for the company. Fine. Click on search. It will now show you the departmental values. Okay. So 100 and 101. Fine. Click on save and close. Now we go for the natural account. Natural account has got a different segmental qualifiers now. Fine. You can see the natural account. So it has got a different segmental qualifiers. If you go there and see here also, fine. You go back one level and then click on the torchlight, go there. You go for the account. So the company and the account are having it. If you go for the account, it has got different type of qualifiers. Now click on it. So every account, if you see the segmental qualifiers. So apart from allow budgeting, allow posting, what happens? The account type has to be put. Whether the account type is what, an asset or a revenue or whatever it is. Fine. There are 5 things are there. So here also what happens, we'll be having even more qualifiers actually as far as the account type is concerned, as far as fusion is concerned. And then the reconciliation is there, the third party account. These are all not, we need not have to worry about. Fine. The account type is a very important one. Fine. The account type is a very important one. So if you go there and see here, what happens, I have now put 1000 as an asset, 1001 as a liability, and then 1002 as an expense, and then 1003 as a owner's equity. So for this exercise, please restrict yourself to only 4 accounts. Some people who know financials, they have created n number of accounts. And then what happens, finally they got confused and then they don't know what to put where. But initially, to begin with, what happens, you restrict yourself to only 4 accounts. And then once when you know financials, you can even go for more accounts. Because from a procurement perspective, these are more than sufficient for doing a purchasing now. But in reality, what happens, you'll be having thousands of accounts. And then do not experiment while you're doing procurement. Once when the procurement is completed, and then when you're doing a second exercise, at the time what happens, you can now go for more and more accounts. As of now, restrict only to these 4 accounts. 1000 is asset, fine. Yaad rakh lo, fine. 1000 is asset, 1001 is liability, this is expense, and then this is one is equity. Lord, I'm going to give it. So let me give this thing with this appropriate segmental qualifiers now. Fine. Segmental qualifiers. Account type is important, fine. And then allow budgeting, allow posting, it's okay, fine. Whatever you give, we are not going to be bothered about it, fine, doesn't matter, because we are not going to do any activity on financials. So the segmental qualifiers for a natural account are more when compared to other flex field qualifiers now. So we go there and then do it now. Fine, keep your cursor on the account and then click on the manage values. And then I'm going to get 4 accounts now. Click on plus. Let me get the first account, plus 1000 now. So the first account is 1000. Keep your cursor on the value. And then the description is also 1000. Here, summary is no allow budgeting, allow posting, and then account type is very important. This asset. Remaining, leave it as a chore though. Fine. There are some mandatory fields. They are already set. No, fine. No need to worry at all. And if you know financials, you can even set differently and then make an experiment on this. So somebody wanted to test multiple reporting currencies, and then consolidation, translation, and then so many things they want to test. If you know financials, you can very well do it. Otherwise, what happens for a procurement purposes, this much is sufficient. Fine, click on save and close. The first account of asset is now created. So let us go on and get the liability account. So click on plus, and then let me get the liability account. So 1001 is a liability account. And go there, and then make the account type as liability. So the first one is asset, fine, click on save and close. So the second account of liability is now created. So we go for the next one is what? The third one, fine, click on plus. I need an expense account. One expense account is required. And go there. 1002 is an expense account. And then go there. Make the account type as an expense. So expense now, fine, save and close. And then finally, owner's equity is also required. This is his money which he is pumping into the company now. So we need one owner's equity for us to complete it. Fine. It's 1003. Then you tap 1003. And then here, make the type as what owner's equity. And that's it. This much is sufficient. There are even more account types are available here. Budget credit and budget debit is also come extra infusion now. It's not available in eBiz basically. So click on save and close, and that's it. We are given all the values. Fine, all the segmental values are now given. Click on search. You will now find all the 4 values coming up over here now. So 1000, 1001, 1002, and 1003 are the 4 values. Click on save and close. Which one happens? You now completed this part. Any doubts on this now? So I have now done it in random manner, not as per this form basically. So what happens after having given the values only, I have gone for a deployment, but I have already given deployment. And then what happens? You go there, and then all these things are not okay. Everything is not done myself. I have given this step. I have given only for the company and department, and then this step I have given only for the what's called natural account. I can do everything together now. So having given the chart of accounts is now complete in all respects. Now we go for the primary ledger. So the primary ledger will be having what? The chart of accounts which we have just created, and then the accounting convention is going to be standard approval, and then the calendar is also created. So the created entities are what? Chart of accounts as well as the calendars of the created entities. The remaining 2 are going to be the same one. Fine. Let us go and then click on the manage primary ledgers and then create a ledger now. Fine, go there. So click on save and close and then come out of it, and then you'll now go for manage primary ledgers. Fine, go there. Manage primary ledger percentage entry. Manage primary ledgers. So click on the manage primary ledgers. We are going inside now. We are going to create a ledger. So click on the plus icon, and then there are so many ledgers there. Fine, click on the plus icon. So there is a plus icon for creating it now. Fine, click on it, and then I'm going to create a ledger. The ledger has got 4 C's now. Fine, it is C00 underscore primary underscore ledger. For simplicity's sake, what happens? I'm writing everything in small now, but in reality, what happens? You have to write it appropriately. Paste it over here. So the chart of accounts is what? C00. Go there and see the C00. It is there. Fine. Not as C00. I'm putting it, and then accounting calendar is also C00. We'll go there. I'm going to put the C00. It's so small, it is not visible for me actually. Hey, where is it? Where is my accounting calendar? Yeah, it is there. So I'm putting the calendar, then currency is USD. I'm going to put USD, and then accounting method is standard accrual. That's it. So with these four combinations of chart of accounts, calendar, and currency conversion, the primary ledger is now getting created. So click on save and edit task list. So once when you click on what happens, it will be saving it, and then it will be creating the primary ledger. Click on save and edit task list. I'm clicking on it. So by which what happens, it gets created. Fine. This completes the creation of a primary ledger. Fine, go there, and that's it. And then afterwards, what happens? You go there. We have to assign the legal entities now. Fine, assign legal entities. So here, what happens when you are assigning it? The scope selection is coming into picture. So what happens? We have to go via projects for assigning the one second. Specify ledger options. Next is specify ledger options. So 19th step is completed. We go for the 20th step. Now we have to specify the ledger options. So for which what happens? The task is this. But again, what happens? We have to go via our project now. So this cannot be done like this now. Fine. If you go to the manage primary ledgers, so if you go and then give the manage primary ledgers, it will not show you properly. So we have to go via projects basically. Fine. Click on implementation project. Some of them we have to go via projects. Click on the implementation project, and then let me query my project C00, and then click on search now. And then choose your project, and then click on manage primary ledgers. Manage percentage, primary percentage, ledger percentage, and then entry. So manage primary ledger is the one which I'm entering in. So go further now. So here I will now go via the financials now. So manage primary ledgers via the financials. Click on it. We are going inside now. So here we have to go to specify ledger options. This is a command now. So go via manage primary ledgers and then go to the specific ledger options. Do not put this as a what's called task. This is a task. The task name, in which what happens, it will be having a subtask of this now. So you go there. So you cannot go directly because what happens, the scope selection is there. So click on the select and then select your ledger and then afterwards go there, click on select now. Against the specify ledger options, click on select now. Right? You go there, drop it down, select and add. Now click on apply and go to task and then choose your ledger. Now, here what happens, we have one query by example. This is equivalent to F11 now. In eBiz, we have F11. So if you go there, if I am now removing it now, and the line is removed. So once when I click on this line, this query by example, this icon, you just have a look at it. When you look at what happens, everything will be coming. There is only one additional line. So here, the query by example is equivalent to F11 of eBiz basically. And then go there. I will now write the query, find Z00, and then simply enter. Control F11 is the execution in eBiz. Here, simply enter is the execution. Enter it, it will be executed and then it will be shown over there. It's so simple. So they made it easy. So you can even query on any of the fields basically. Whichever field you want, you can go to the query by example line, and then a line will be getting added. You write your query and then simply enter, it will be queried now. Fine, select it. So here, what happens? Here, the save and close is not visible. Press F11. F11 function key, press, what happens? It will become bigger now. F11, when you get it, what happens? Again, F11 will toggle now. When you click again F11, it will toggle. So you press F11, it will be bigger now, and then click on save and close. If the save and close is not visible, remember you have to press F11 and then you have to bring it over here. Click on save and close. So by which what happens? The specify ledger options, the primary ledger is not selected. It comes to the screen. And then if you are a financial guy, you can now put everything. If you are not a financial guy, what happens? Restrict yourself to only what happens? Your intercompany, average balance, sequencing, everything is there. So if you're not clear on this now, fine, go there. You go with the retained earnings account. The retained earnings account is what? 10-100-1003. Fine, 1003, you can just give it. So 1003 is a retained account. All of you can have the same account numbers because all of us are working on different chart of accounts. So we can very well do this now. And then you go there, there is one journal language is there. You go there and then drop it out. So these are the only two, what happens, the mandatory entry, and then you can choose this now. The remaining, you can leave it because we are not going to do anything on the financials basically. Since we are not going to do anything on the financials, we can just leave it as it's now. So you can now see your ledger is coming on the top, which we have done the select and add. So your ledger has to be on the top now. Fine. So then only what happens here, look it. Fine. You go there, click on save and close. This much is sufficient on the specify ledger options task now. And if you're a financial guy, you can go for much. Otherwise, from a procurement perspective, this much is sufficient. Any doubts? Okay, fine. Click on save and close. By which what happens? The specify ledger options task is now completed. So I completed the specify ledger options task. And you go there and then see this. Next is what? Assign legal entities. Fine, now coming. So here already I'm in this task itself, so I can go to assign legal entities. Here itself it will be visible now. Fine, you go there. You can now see on the bottom assign legal entities visible here. So the task is visible. No need to again requery it now. Click on the assign legal entities. Click on the go to task now. The task is already visible on the manage primary ledgers itself. When I made a query, it's available now. So go to the assign legal entities. So I'm going to assign the legal entity to my ledger now. Right? And you can see a plus here. A small icon is available here. Right? This is select and add. So this is the plus symbol. Fine, click on the plus symbol. For your primary ledger, I am going to assign the legal entity. Fine, click on the plus symbol now. Let me assign the legal entity now. So I will now query on the legal entity C00, and then I'm going to make a search now. Remember, you have to query yours and then do it now. And then make a selection. How to select it? You go to the left-hand side and then click on it. The line gets selected. Click on apply and then done. By which what happens? This gets assigned. So we are now assigned the legal entity to ledger. Fine. This activity is now complete. Fine. Click on save and close. And that's it. This is now complete. Fine. We go for the next activity on this now. Now, what happens? We have to say one of them as a balancing segment now. So we're going to do this now. So the balancing segment values to legal entity is also available in the same place itself. You need not have to query anything at all. So you can say assign balancing segment values to legal entities. This is the one. So the scope is also selected, and so no need to worry at all. You can go to the task directly. So click on the task icon directly and then go to the task and then assign the balancing segment for the legal entities now. So click on it and then it will now go into the one now. So we go there and then here we're going to give 10 as a balancing segment. Fine. So you click on this plus and then let me assign this now. Fine. There's a plus now. Click on plus, assign values this now. So if you drop down, you'll be finding both 10 and 11 coming up now. So 10 and 11 is coming. I'm choosing 10 now. Fine. That is sufficient. And then click on save and close. By which what happens? The balancing segment is also assigned to this. You're now going to balance on this now. So click on save and close. So we have completed almost all the activities in financials now. The last activity is now pending. So if you go there and see, Last activity is now pending. So go down. Now we have to review and then submit the configuration. We have to review and then submit. Fine. So this task is also available in the same place itself. Fine, on the same place. So no need to requery at all. So review and submit accounting configuration is the last task in the financials now. And go there and they can now see this model. So we'll be having a review and then submit accounting configuration as a last task, which is coming up now. The last task. So you click on the go to task, and then before you go to any task, what happens? Ensure that the scope selection is there properly. It's already there. So click on it. So we're going to run. This is a concurrent program. We'll be seeing the concurrent program a bit later now. It is almost equivalent to eBiz only. So you can now see everything is now put to mark, and then click on submit directly. So it shows you the ledger legal entity combination also. So click on submit by which the concurrent will be submitted now. So the create accounting configuration has been submitted. Fine. A confirmation message is coming. The concurrent number 573065. So click on OK. So by which this activity is now completed. Now we have to go and then see on our managed primary ledgers and then see whether our this thing is having a tick mark or not. Fine. There is a managed primary ledger. Just click on it now. So let us query my ledger and then see a tick mark is coming there or not. If a tick mark is not coming, fine, you can see on the right hand side a tick mark is coming. So the tick mark has to be there for you. So let us go to the query by example. Click on the query by example. And then the line has got removed. So I'm now inserting the line now. Fine, I will now query my C00, sorry, C00 and then simply enter now. So it will now query and then it will now show you. Fine, now you can see it's in process now. Now how to see the concurrent programs which are running? You click on the navigator on the top now. The navigator, and then here what happens, you go to this tools and then go to the schedule process. So tools scheduled process is the one. Against the tools what happens, you'll be having a scheduled process. You click on it. So tools schedule process is a concurrent program. It will not show you the concurrent program, whatever is running. I have already expanded the screen. Fine, I will now reduce the screen. F11 will now bring back to the normal size. You can now see it is all succeeded. Fine, you can even refresh it now. Fine, the refresh button icon is there. Fine, click on the refresh. It will now say it's succeeded. It is completed now. So let us again go back to ours now. Fine, and then have a look at it now. Fine, click on it, and then go to the setup and maintenance. Now, since I'm now going to only have a look at the managed primary ledgers, I can even go via this itself. Fine, no need to go via this. Manage primary percentage, lead percentage, and then enter it. So manage primary ledgers, and then let me query my ledger now. So C00 and then enter it. You can see our ledger will be coming, and then you are having a tick mark. So this completes what the confirmation messages come that what happens. You have completed all the preliminary or the basic activities on financials which is required for procurement. Right? Only for procurement requirement to get direct. So third step is done. Now we have to open the periods now. Fine. Open the first period. So let us open the first period now. Fine, close it. Click on done. Then completed. Open first period. So go there. Open the first period. Open first period. Enter it. So open first period is the command. Click on it. It goes over there. So it shows you this now. Fine. Make a data access set as a primary ledger. Fine. Drop it down and then choose yours now. I always miss on the first code. I cannot see such a small letters somewhere. It is there now. It is there. C00 primary ledger. And then here ledger set. Fine. Drop down. And then I will now put the ledger set. And then the accounting is March. Fine. We are given this as the first period, and then click on submit by which the first period gets open. And remember, we need not have to open at all anything. There is no need to open anything at all here. Fine. So I will not do this now, because what happens when I push into payables, it will now say your financials is not open. Then we have to open the GL period, afterwards the AP period. So I will not open it now. So when I am pushing it from purchasing to payables, at the time I will not open it up, because if you don't open it up, you cannot do any activity in AP at all. So I will not open it. I will not open it up at the time when I am pushing it into AP. If I can cancel it, I will not do it now. So only for the financial modules, the periods are there. We don't have any periods for the supply chain management modules or manufacturing modules. And that's it. Fine. We have completed everything on this now. Fine. Now here what happens, this step I have already completed. I will now show you what I have completed now. Manage legal and HCM information. Because people sometimes used to spoil something, different things, and then so what happens? I have completed this now. I go there, manage percentage, CM percentage, info percentage, entry. Manage legal entity HCM information. This is what it is. So click on the manage legal entity HCM information, the task. And then I will now go inside now. So here, what happens? I will now query my legal entity C00 and then click on search now. Please do not create anything on my structure at all. And some people used to be lazy and then they started to create everything on mine. I will get totally confused when you make so many things on this. So here on the payroll statutory unit, what we had to do is I had to go and then edit and then do it now. Actually, I'm not editing it because I already done it. So the LDG, the legislative data group must be there. If LDG is absent, employees cannot be created. So this one you have to go and edit and then go to update and then do it now. This one has to be updated. This is what the CM team told me. I don't know why it's so. I'm following it up strictly as per now. The legal employer, what happens? You go to the position synchronization and then ensure that what happens, you're having this use enterprise. That's sufficient. And then on the payroll statutory, the LDG is there. Fine. These two are more than sufficient. And then when you edit and submit, what happens? It will be running a concurrent now. So I have already completed that part. So 26 is already completed. So we have completed all the activities on financials. Now we are going to go down to the bottom of the next level of business units. So beginning of an activity on the business unit. Fine. So business unit is equivalent to an operating unit, and then it is more powerful than an operating unit actually. So we are going to create it now. Fine. So let us go and then create a business unit. Manage business unit is a task. Any doubts till now? Dinesh, are you there?
Nana Kalaki, Nana.
Yeah, tell me.
Nana, when we cover this business unit, can you just differentiate the difference between operating unit and a business unit? Because
you'll be seeing it. See, everywhere I used to always compare EBIS basically, so no problem at all, man. When you're working upon it.
No, thing is, still now I don't get a clarity on exact business purpose of having an operating unit. So can you just explain to us?
The operating unit has got 5 functionalities in EBIS. One is PO, one is AP, one is OM, one is AR, and then one is cash management. So these 5 modules operate at the operating unit level. Whereas here in the business unit level, what happens, apart from these 5, they have added human capital management also, and then they have added some sales, and then some other modules are also added. So there are many modules which operate at the business unit level. So they have added it more and then they made it more powerful. So the entire HRM, HCM activity is now taking place at the business unit level and no more at the business unit level. Right? At the business group level. So in EBIS, what happens at the business group, you will be having the HR classification and you will not do everything. Here, what happens at the enterprise level, nothing is done as such. So enterprise level, we only specify the DF of what's called the key flux fields of HRMS, like people group, first field, all those things you are specifying it there. Apart from that, what happens, you set up the HRMS only through a business group actually. So it has been brought, it has been made more powerful than what we have. Fine. In EBIS, what happens, the operating unit is the heart of a structure actually. Here also what happens, the business unit is going to be the heart of a structure actually. But the legal entity is the owner now. In EBIS, we don't have any activity on legal entity, whereas here we have got plenty of, the legal entity is the owner. The entire ownership has been shifted to the legal entity. So it owns all the assets, all the liabilities, all transactions are stored in the legal entity, and then business unit is a facilitator. It facilitates creating of the transactions on the legal entity. Fine. This is what else. So let us go and then create a managed business unit. Fine. Manage percentage, business percentage, unit percentage, and then go there. So click on manage business unit is the one. So we are going to create a managed business unit. So click on manage business unit. There are plenty of business units that are over here. Let us create a one. I click on plus now. So when you click on plus, what happens? I know what to put C00 underscore BU business unit. I'm putting it, and then we can even associate a manager for this now. If an employee is created, a manager can be there. So that is only optional. That is only for information purposes. The location is also for information purposes. Fine, drop down and again choose the location now. So location is the information bubble. Let's click on search. And then let me put my location over here now. The 0th location, I'm going to put it now. Fine. C00. I click on search. In eBiz also, location is not mandatory visiting. Fine. For this the operating unit, I am not choosing the location 0. Fine, over there. And then there is a default set, which I'm going to use it now. Fine, as a common set. So go there and then choose for it. Tell me.
Yeah, correct here, Nana.
Yeah.
So Nana, you meant to say, for example, if my business supports distribution, I can have the operating unit. If I'm using a manufacturing unit, if I'm implementing Oracle for my manufacturing company, can I skip the operating unit from the business enterprise structure?
No, it's not possible.
Is it possible?
How can skip now, basically? Even in eBiz, can you skip an operating unit when you want to have manufacturing? Can you skip an operating unit when you have manufacturing?
Because all the distribution modules is actually operating at the operating unit level. None of the manufacturing is working at the operating unit level. So that's the reason.
Modules are what? Inventory, purchasing, and order management. Only purchasing and order management operate at the operating unit level, whereas inventory is operating at the inventory level. And not all the distribution modules are operating at the operating unit level. Right? So if inventory is there, can I skip operating unit and then do it now? It's not possible. No. It has to report the financials. So here also what happens, the reporting is always there via business unit only. When you want to report to the hiring of ledger and legal entity, it has to go via business unit only.
Okay.
Fine. Here also the same. So if you go
because exclusively we are having a separate operating unit just to have a control over a set of inventory organizations at a particular common place, correct?
1 second, I will now go there and show it to you. You go to the inventory vision operations, enter it. And then you go to setups and then go to org. Let me query the vision operations now. Fine. V percentage OPE, your tab. So vision operations I'm going. The vision operations has been classified as what? Multiple things. Fine. If you go there, legal entity. Fine. Vision operations is legal entity. Click on others now. So if you go there and then see this now, fine. As a legal entity, what happens? It is not having anything. Okay, doesn't matter. Now what happens? We'll now go and then see this is an operating unit now. Vision operation is an operating unit. So vision operation as an operating unit. Click on others. You can now see. Go to the operating information. It says what? It reports to which ledger, which legal entity. It will not show you. It reports to this ledger, this legal entity. Fine. And then if you go and see the inventory org, you click on the inventory org. Let us say this inventory org is going to be this vision operation. The inventory org is going to be a manufacturing unit. Click on others. So in the accounting information, you can say very well what happens. It is not reporting to which primary ledger and then which primary ledger and then which operating unit also. So inventory org, even though it is a manufacturing unit, we have to specify the operating unit, without which what happens, it will never allow you to perform the transactions at all. We cannot push it to the financials. So to pushing into financials, we need the operating unit. Similarly, what happens, the business unit is also required for everything. Is it clear?
Okay. Yes, no, I can understand, but I had this question from one of my clients, so that's why I wanted to get it clarified.
You cannot bypass the operating unit at all. It has to be, any levels has to be via the operating unit. So here also what happens?
So basically from business perspective, from business point of view, so this operating unit, it's mainly meant to have a control over the distribution part for the specific set of inventory organizations, right?
What happens, it is a via media for inventory, and then it is a place where we are going to do the transactions for AP, AR and GL. For AP, AR and then PO, AP and then OM, AR and then cash management will all operate at the operating unit level. Right? Whereas for the inventory, it's a lower level, but when it pushes the financial data, it will be pushing via the operating unit to the higher levels.
Okay, so just one scenario, Nana. Sorry to bother you. One scenario. For example, if you're having 3 inventory organizations, A, B, C, okay. So all these 3 inventory organizations comes under one particular operating unit.
Okay.
So in real time, all the transactions, I mean the payment or the whatever we get from the customers or we have to pay to the suppliers. So it will be for all the 3 organizations. Is it managed only at that particular operating unit level?
Of course, naturally, because it's now reporting via the operating unit to the top level now. Via that operating unit, it will be reporting to the ledger and legal entity. And then what happens, you will now do what's called your transactions at that level. Right?
Okay.
So you have the balancing segment defined in the GL. And then the GL will be calculating the profit and loss via the operating unit, whatever is coming, data is coming now. Okay, fine.
Okay,
So
okay.
it has to be via that only. You cannot skip an operating unit for an inventory or if it's going to be manufacturing or whatever it is.
So, okay. So basically, an inventory organization cannot act alone. It has to be under
Via
a
an
branch
operating unit
structure.
only. Fine. In the accounting information, we have to give the what's called the operating unit actually. Here also the business unit comes into the picture. So business unit is the main part. Fine.
Okay, because and moreover, when during the month-end closure process also, few process for the month-end it is being taken care at the set-top books level, and few it is being taken care at the operating unit level. So all the manufacturing transactions it is being controlled for set of month-end process it is at the operating unit level, and few accounts set-top books closing it is at the set-top books level. So that's the reason I wanted to get clarified how it is happening.
Very sure about this one. Fine. I'm not clear. I'm not. But what happens? Operating to the mandatory one, and then fortunately in Fusion we don't have any closing of periods at all. Supply chain does not have any periods, so it's a beautiful
Okay.
way now. So you'll be fine.
Okay, Nana. In that way, seriously, we are happy because month end is always a hectic process for us. Every first of every month, we'll be there in office by 5 o'clock.
Oh God.
Seriously, this is really happy for us.
Here, the periods have been removed from all the supply chain modules, basically. So while you're creating the business unit, what happens? You have a default set as common now. Fine, we'll now come to what exactly is the default. This is called a reference data set now. This has been brought from PeopleSoft actually, and then it has got plenty of applications only for HRM. CM will be using it to a great extent, whereas we don't have any application at all on this. But we have to specify. It's a mandatory field. We have to specify it. So if you don't specify it, it will not work. So if something is in common, what happens? It will be visible for everybody. So common is basically for everybody. Basically. Otherwise, what happens? You can even specify a specific data set. Fine, data set can be specified, and then that can be used. And then I'll tell you about what exactly is used. And there are so many things: corporate set, cooling services set. There are so many sets have been created now. Fine, and then that you can use it. So how to create a set is what is managed. Reference data set is a task through which what happens, we can now create these sets and then you can populate it over here. So don't worry, you are only going to use only common as far as supply chain is concerned. But if HCM is there, they will now create the business unit. Business unit creation will not be available with you. They will be getting it. At the time, what happens, they will now put some default set over here. When they are creating it, they will now put it. And then we only have to follow them. We need not have to create anything. So since for this training, what happens, I will now show you the common set, what exactly is. Click on save and close. So by which, what happens, the business unit is now created. Simple name, and then what happens, a manager, location, and then the common set. And that's it. So the business unit is now created. Go there and then say this. Now we have to say the functionalities for this now. So we have to say what are all the functions it is going to do. That you have to choose. So like what happens, POAP, OMAR, and cash management, we have to now define the functions now. We have to define the functions. You go there and then click on this. So it's assign business unit business function. Click on done now. So when you want to assign it, you preferably go via projects now. When you want to assign some things, we have to go via project. That will be somewhat better now. So you go there. I will now put my C00 implementation project. Let me open it up now. And then go there. And then here, what happens? Assign percentage BUSI percentage. Enter. Assign business unit business function. So go again via financials now. Go via, there are so many navigations that are available here. Go via financials now. Assign business unit business function. So I'm going via financials now. So here, what happens? You have to give a scope selection. Fine. First of all, scope selection. So any scope selection is via projects. Otherwise, we can go via outside also. Fine. Click on select. So assign business unit business function. So click on select and add. Click on apply and go to task. So click on apply and go to task. We will not choose hours now. Fine. Here, what happens? I will now put C00 and then give a search now. You select it on the left hand side and then the save and close is not visible. Press F11. F11 function key will now expand it and click on save and close. So by which, what happens? Okay, now come to this now. Here, come to this. So this many functions are available here. In operating unit, we have got only 5 functions here. There this many functions are available here. So billing and revenue management. No. All these things are no. And material management is yes now. Fine, let me enable the material management. And then payables invoicing. I don't know, payables payment. And let me payable invoicing because you have to push and then create payables payment also. Let me enable it now. Procurement, I'm going to enable it now. And then not contracts, not project receiving, I'm going to enable it now. And then requisitioning. So here, what happens? Requisitioning and procurement are different. Requisitioning is PR, and then procurement is PO. So they made it in two things, and this much is sufficient. Sales is there, revenue compliance is there. So I'm now enabling only whatever is required for me. So these many functions are enabled. So you do it in one go, and then what happens? This needs a license now. If you don't have a license, even if you enable it, it will not work at all. Click on primary ledger and then drop it now. Fine. Here, what happens? I'm going to drop it. Choose this now. So primary ledger, I'm going to drop it. Fine. Click on search now. If it is not available, go on and search for it now. So it's C00, and then click on search. And then select it now. 1 second. So select and then click on OK now. So the moment you put the primary ledger, the legal entity will be coming automatically. And then please enable the below legal entity tick mark. We'll be telling you what exactly it means in costing now. When you're doing costing, and then I will not tell you. So put a tick mark on below legal entity, and then what happens? Save and close, by which what happens? We have now assigned the business functions for the business unit. So whatever is required. Anything I have missed it out, just have a look at it now. Receiving is enabled, requisitioning is enabled, document, nothing else is required. So click on save and close. That's it. So you're giving this now. Fine, click on save and close, by which what happens? The business unit functions are enabled for this business unit. It won't give you a big warning, blah 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 warning. Just ignore it. It doesn't mean anything at all. Fine, click on OK now. Accept this message now, warning message. It'll be confused. It will be having implications only for costing actually. Like when you're creating this thing, what happens? Your organization parameters, it will not say some warning. Some if items are assigned, the costing method cannot be changed, blah blah blah. So it is also similar to this. So we have completed this assigning business unit function. Then what happens? We come to the manage business unit set assignments. Manage business unit set assignments. Fine. Here, if you see manage business unit set assignments is coming here. This is the task now. Fine. If you go to the task. So the business unit has got a lot of reference data set objects. So many reference data set objects are there. So out of which what happens? We have got only two objects for the SCM. SCM has got only 2 objects. Fine, go down. So one is locations now. So we go there and then query this now. Fine. Go to query mode and then I will now bring it to locations now. Fine. LOCA locations. So this is a reference data object which will be used by SCM, and then one is job in HRMS. So one is job in HRMS. Job is in HRMS. So jobs. So jobs and locations are the only reference data subject which we need now. Fine. Otherwise, if you delete it and then go and find it out, enter it. It won't show everything. The remaining are all only for financials or for HCM modules or projects or whatever it is. Nothing is there for us. Even HCM has got a lot of things like what was grades is there. Fine. So many things are there for HCM. Fine. Department is another one. Fine. Again, we use the department also. Sorry. Fine. Department also use it. Fine. So jobs, department, and then locations are the only one which will be used by the HCM. Locations is the one, and then one is jobs, one is department. Now I will explain you what exactly is the reference data objects and then what exactly it means. Fine. So it has got a very less or no significance at all as far as we are concerned now. So whenever they create what's called a BU by the financials team or a HCM team, you simply follow. You will not even touch this area at all. We will not even touch this area. We will not make any changes at all. So let me show you about what exactly it means now. Fine, for the reference data set. So let me open up an Excel sheet now. Where is my Excel? Excel is not there. Excel, Microsoft Office Excel. Let us say I'm going to have some sets now. Okay, let us say north set. So in the north set, what happens? I'm going to create a location called what? Delhi. And then I will now say what happens? Bhopal. So I'm now creating a north set, and then what happens? I'm going to create these 2 locations. I'm going to associate with the north set. Fine. I will now go to the south set. South set. Fine. I will now say Madras, and then Hyderabad. Fine. I will now create a common set now. Common set is already ready there. Remain there. Common set. Fine. You can go there. And then I will now put Nagpur over here. Nagpur. Fine, orders. Now I got 3 sets now. Fine. Now I say you go there. For the locations, what happens here? I'm going to put the north set now. Fine. Drop down and then put the north set. Now tell me which locations. I have got 5 locations: Delhi, Bhopal, fine, Madras, Hyderabad, and Nagpur. There are 5 locations which I created now. So if my business unit, this is the business unit, and then against this business unit, this location is going to be at what happens, your north set, let us say. So which locations this business unit can access? Can anybody tell me? This business unit can access which locations? This business unit is now having a north set in this location. Now tell me, anybody can tell me which locations it can access now? Just make a guess now.
Delhi and Bhopal.
Delhi and Bhopal is wrong. Delhi and Bhopal alone is wrong.
Plus Nagpur.
Plus Nagpur is 100% correct. Fine. So if you have the north set, what happens? The business unit can access Delhi, Bhopal, plus whatever is there in the common set. Common set is for everybody. Fine, what else? Go there. So if it is a north set, what happens? It can access Delhi, Bhopal. And if it is a south set, what are the things that it can access now? It can access Madras, Hyderabad plus Nagpur. Got it now? Fine. Madras, Nagpur plus Hyderabad. Fine. So let us say that they have created a business unit, and then there in the locations, what they have done is you go there, and then they have given something else. Here, not this one. So let us say some centralized cooling services they have given this. They are not put it. Now, when you create a location, you create all your locations only on common set now. When it is going to be a common set, you may have n number of business units, and then each and every business unit may have a different reference data set object. This is a reference data set, and then this is an object. It may have different things, but it doesn't matter. As long as all your locations belong to the common set, every business unit can access your locations. Fine. When you create it, don't worry about this page at all, because this page is being done by what happens, the HCM team or the financials team, based upon the real what happens, security reasons. Some of the things should not be accessed by somebody, because of which what happens, they have done it. But locations, we are only going to use it. They are not going to use it. And then there, what happens? You create, let it be anything. It doesn't matter. You create your locations on common set. That's it. So once when you create it on common set, what happens? Any business unit can access it. Similarly, what happens if HCM is not installed? What happens? You go to the jobs and then create all the jobs on common set, and then create all your departments also on the common set. So once when you create these things on the common set, what happens? Let it be any BU. The BUs are created by the financials and HCM. It doesn't matter at all. As long as your entities are on the common set, any BU can access them. Clear now? So this page, do not touch anything at all on this one. So do not touch anything, give a cancel. Is this clear? So this partitioning is basically an additional security which they are imposing upon. So here what happens in SCM, what happens, there are something. Some people can access the other people's name and designation, but not their salary actually. The salaries and other things, their confidential reports cannot be accessed by them. So they can only access these data, but they cannot access other data. So by which what happens, the HCM team will be using different type of sets, and then those sets were accessible only by certain business unit. Some business unit will be there, and then there only what happens is they will now give certain data which can be accessed by them, which will be the top level management. So this is the PeopleSoft concept which has been brought in, and then it has got nothing to do with ours now, because locations, we don't want to restrict a location for anybody. Anybody can access any location. Similarly, jobs and departments, no need at all. So when you create all these things, jobs and department will be created by HCM. If HCM is not installed, you create everything on the common set. The common set can be accessed by any business unit actually. Got it now? So in reality, what happens, it won't be common at all. See, all these things will not be common at all. When they're creating a business unit itself, they will be giving a new reference data set object. Fine, new reference data object, they'll be doing it, and then accordingly they will be doing it. Now, fine, let's cancel. So this completes the reference data set object, and then we have got nothing to do on this now. We'll be creating everything on the common set now. All right? We'll be creating everything on the common set. So we go there, go to the next part of it now. Tell me how.
No, no, so this business unit assignment, it's like whatever the jobs that I created in operating unit A, it should be common for operating unit B also, right? I
Exactly.
mean,
When you
it's
put
like
it in the common
sharing
set,
the.
yeah, when you put it in the common set, what happens? Anybody can access that job.
Okay, so is it something related to MOAC concept? Because security profile, when you create it, a person who is working in operating unit A, you will be able to see the
Yeah, yeah.
operating unit B
That's
also, right?
basically a responsibility operating unit type. Fine. This is a
Okay,
different one actually. This is not like
okay. So
there.
that this is not related to MOAC,
Operating
right?
is done by the MO operating unit, whereas here it is not so. Multi-org access control allows you to access multiple operating units. We'll be coming to that part a bit later now. Fine. So
Okay,
MOAC is a different activity, and then this is the additional security which is not available in the EBIS at all. This is an
okay,
excellent one,
okay.
and then there's been brought from PeopleSoft directly. Beautiful one. In fact, what happens in our company, we implemented a project in Muscat. And then what happens is based upon the one group of people are paid on 30 days payroll, and then another people are paid on 31 days payroll. So based upon which what happens, they created 2 business units. Or finally, they landed up in 4 business units because of very many security reasons. Actually. So number of business units will be determined by the financials, and then CM, we only have to follow them. We don't have any what's called control on this. Whatever they decide, we have to follow. That's it. From our side, make it simple with a common set. Any entities. These are 3 entities. Whenever you create any values on these things, what happens? You create one that, so you'll have no issues at all. Anything can access any of our SCM models. Any business unit can access it. So the set assignments, we create all our 3 entities on common sets. So don't worry about what they have done on that level. Now, next is what the service providers know. So for which what happens? I'll now open up this document now. Fine, you go to the Fusion Enterprise now. Page down. And then here, this is the procurement business for us. Fine. Here, what happens? They have shown you 3 different business units. And then what happens? Here, there are 3 activities are there. One is requisitioning and receiving is one activity. Next is sourcing. Sourcing is basically what happens here? Sourcing module actually. And then one is purchasing, and then one is payables. We can say 4 modules are involved in this. 4 modules are involved. And then here, all of them can be independent now. This is called a decentralized way of functioning. Fine. Now, centralized sourcing and then local execution. So what happens? We have a centralized sourcing area in which what happens? This sourcing is now going to be a common one for BU1 and BU2. Fine. BU1 and BU2 will be having a centralized sourcing. And then afterwards, once when the sourcing is done now, what happens? The source data will be again given back to the BU1 or BU2. And then that will now do the purchasing, and then that will now do the payables also. This is called centralized sourcing, local execution. The third one, if you see, completely shared services, complete shared services, in which what happens, BU1 and BU2 will be having what's called a centralized sourcing as well as a centralized purchasing. And then what happens, it also makes the centralized payment. And then through the intercompany payables and receivables, what happens, they'll be transferring it to the respective BUs for financial activities. This is complete shared services. And then this is a transfer procurement to local BU now. And what is so BU1, and then we have a sourcing over here now. And then what happens? The purchasing will now take place at BU2. BU2 is a requisitioning BU, whereas BU2 is a procurement BU. And then it pays also. And then after payment, what happens? Whatever it has paid, the transaction will be transferred to payables to the BU1 via intercompany invoicing. So these are the 4 business models which are available in Fusion actually. So in the 4th one, if you have a look at it now, find transfer procurement to local BU. BU1 is a requester, whereas BU2 is the purchasing one. Fine. So BU2 provides a service to the BU1. So BU2 is a service provider for BU1. BU2 is a service provider for BU1. Okay, fine. This is what it is. Whereas for BU2, BU1 is a client. And then for BU1, BU2 is a service provider. It will look like slightly confusing. I will again repeat now. Have you understood this transfer procurement to local BU now clearly? Here, BU1 is the requisitioning BU. BU2 is the procurement BU. So, BU2 provide a service to BU1. The requester is the ultimate one. The requesting BU is the ultimate one, for which what happens, others provide only services. The sourcing BU provides the sourcing information for BU1. The procurement BU provides the procurement for BU1. So everybody provides a service to the BU1. So BU2 is a service provider to BU1, and then BU1 is the service client of BU2. BU1 is the client of BU2. Clear on this now? Any doubts? So the service provider and client, you must be very clear about.
Now, when you say service, I mean, what kind of service is that?
The service is what? The BU2 is going to provide a service of making a purchase order for the BU1 now. BU2 is now providing a service of making a purchase order for BU1. BU1 needs the material. The demand starts at BU1. Here, demand starts at BU1. So for BU1, BU2 provide a service of making a thing, and then it also provides a service of making a payment also. So purchasing and payment are done by BU2. Purchasing and payment are done by BU2. So as soon as the payment is done, what happens through intercompany invoicing, it will now be pushed into BU1 because BU1 has to account for whatever they need now. They needed it for which whatever they have made the payment. So that payment is now transferred via intercompany invoicing.
So when BU2 raise a requisition, it will be from BU.
One second. BU2 will never raise a requisition at all. In this case, BU2 will never raise a requisition at all. BU1 only will be raise a requisition.
Okay.
BU2 is going to only make the purchase orders on behalf of BU1. So for BU2, the BU1 is a client. So it's not raising a purchase order for its client BU1 now.
Okay.
Clear on this? Anybody has got any doubts on this? Please get it clarified. Otherwise, what happens? You'll make mistakes when you have multiple BUs in your implementation. So the service provider client relationship must be clear for you now. Now let us go there. We have got only one BU. Fine. The same BU is a service provider. The same BU is a client for us now. Fine for us. So let us go there and then see this. So if there is only one BU, there is no need to assign anything explicitly at all. It becomes automatic now. And go there and see this. So here what happens, I'm going to go to the manage business unit and then see the service providers as well as the view service clients. So we go there and then we'll now see this, these two things. Go there. So I will now go to the manage business unit. Fine. Click on the go to task now. I go to the manage business unit task. So here, let me query my fine C00 and then we can search now. I'm searching for it and then you select it now. And then go to actions. And then here what happens, manage service providers. Fine. Click on manage service providers. That means what? This, I'm now considering this as a client BU. This is a client BU. So it is going to say who are all the people who are going to do the service for him now. Fine. Click on the manage service providers. You click on manage service providers. And then here it will now show you who are all the service providers. The procurement service provider is what? C00 business unit. The payable service provider is what? Again, the same one. It can be even add also. You can even add more also. Like let us say you are now working for Wipro. Fine. So the Wipro company is a client, and then for which what happens, you are now providing a service to Wipro. So they can choose you. Fine. But can you choose Wipro or Tata or Birla? That is not in your hands. Fine. You cannot choose and then work. Only the company can choose you and then they can make you to work. You cannot say, okay, now from this month onwards, I will not work for Tata. From next month onwards, I will not work for Birla. You cannot say. So a service provider is selected by the client actually. So this is a client BU. So for which what happens, this is the service provider. So for the C00 business unit, the procurement business unit is also same. The payables business unit is also same. And there are the 4 different configurations that are available here. So based upon which what happens, we have to add. For every client, what happens in this case, BU2 will be a service provider, fine, for purchasing as well as payment. If it is going to be BU1, let's say C00 is a BU1 and then C002 is a BU2. So even for this case, how it will be, I'll tell you. Here what happens, it will be C002 for the procurement as well as C002 for the payables. That you have to click on the plus and then add it. There is a plus by which what happens, you have to add it. And click on plus and then add it. So the procurement BU. So there can be multiple people who can do the procurement also. Fine, click on plus depending upon the load. Now. If the job load is heavy, what happens? We can add it. And click on search and then you can add it. Fine, I will not say retail. I'm putting something. And then click on apply and then done. So by which what happens? Procurement for the C00 business unit is done by both retail business unit as well as C00 business unit. So the service providers, the client can very well choose. Like your Fus Proc can choose who all can work for them basically. So similarly, what happens? The service clients, this is a service client now. The service client, what happens? You can now choose the service providers for both the payables as well as procurement. Yeah, tell me.
Nana, is it a new concept in Fusion? I mean, do we have any similar business functionality in eBiz?
In eBiz, what happens? You have the functionality of multi-org access control. In a multi-org access control, what happens? A user can choose an operating unit and then do it now. Fine. You can choose an operating unit and then you can now do the purchase order creation for the particular operating unit. Here also, what happens? You can now choose a business unit. A user can choose one of the business units and then for a particular business unit, they can now start to create. This retail, for retail, the client is C00 business unit. And then for this also, the client is this now. So you can choose a particular client and then accordingly start to work on it. It is equivalent to multi-org access control.
Okay. I thought this is a complete different business flow, I guess. I thought.
No, it's almost similar to that. Right? We can even analogous, we can say, because it's analogous to that. Right? We can't say one-to-one comparison, but we can just for imagination purpose. I'm cancelling it, remember, I'm not saving anything. And then if you go there and then again see this now, fine. Here we have against our business unit, we have a managed business unit is now coming. Right? Managed service provider is coming. Right? C00. I'm going to click on search now. So if you go there and then see this now, fine, for this one, you go to actions. You have managed service providers, whereas we can only view service clients. We cannot manage service client is not there. Like what happens? You cannot choose to work on Tata, Birla, or Wipro. You don't have any option at all. You can only view where exactly you're working. Got it now? Fine. So there is no managed service clients. Only for managed service providers is there, whereas managed service client is not there. We can only view. Fine, click on view. Fine. When you go this business unit, you want to see it. Fine. Who are all the clients? This is the client. This is the client. This is the client. Fine. Customer. You are not choosing the APAR at all, so it's not coming at all.
So when you say services, it is like raising a requisition and getting the payment.
There are only two services: purchasing and payment are the only services now.
Okay. And when you say client, it is like within only operating units.
Yeah, everything is an operating.
I mean, our operating unit.
What happens? Everything is an operating unit.
It doesn't refer to any external supplier, right?
Business unit or operating unit.
Fine. Okay, it doesn't refer to any external supplier. So all the transactions are intercompany.
Only for after you make the payment, you via intercompany processing. What happens? You have to shift it to the appropriate BU, because requisitioning BU is the ultimate. That has to account for the payment also. If something has requisitioned material, what happens? It has to account for the payment. So, but somebody else has done it. So, what happens? We transfer it via intercompany payables and receivables to the respective operating unit or business units.
But no, just out of curiosity, I'm asking. So, why do we have this kind of flexibility? Because
see, this is available, and then you have to map the end client's functionality now. If end client is now functioning as a complete shared services, then you have to follow this now. If he is now following the fourth one, you have to follow like this now. Whichever way he is following, we have to follow. So this many, it will definitely fit in one of the four.
Okay, so you mean to say the Fusion? This is like a business flow template which is introduced in Fusion, and whichever clients implements procurement, they have to follow any of these business template, right?
Naturally, they have to not follow. We have to follow their business. So we have to identify their business, how the business is. It is now their business is like first one, second one, the third one, fourth one, and then accordingly we have to configure our service provider.
Okay. Can you just give one example for each flow?
See, the first one is an individual one. You say, I got a North BU, I got a South BU, I have got a West BU, and then East BU. All the BUs are separately functioning. Fine. In the last,
got it. First one is fine. They're acting.
Last one, let us say BU is a North BU, and then BU2 is a South BU. So South BU is responsible for making a purchase order for the North, or it may be even responsible for making the purchase order for all the four zones of a country. Let us say I have North, South, East, and West. For which what happens? I have a centralized procurement in Delhi, which does the purchase orders for all the 4 zones, whereas requisitioning are taking place at individual zones. Basically. Requisitioning takes place is south, east, west, north, and then what happens? We'll have a centralized one at north. Let us have 4
Okay.
BU1.
Okay. Got it.
So likewise,
So
very well configured. The same thing can be configured in EBIS also. Right? EBIS also can very well configure. So here also can be. Here it's easy, more easy. There we have to bring in a multi-org access control and all, etc., etc. Here you just configure the service client and the service provider. That's more than sufficient.
okay, fine. So what I understood from your statement is, so these are all the business unit, the business flows which the client will be explaining it.
Exactly.
So based on this, we will be, we may or may not be.
Yeah, it may be even more. Only 4 has been explained over here. It may be even more sort of. It's only for examples basically. It may be.
Okay.
Right. It depends upon the actual businesses.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, Raman.
So this is what is fine. This is on. We can only view the business clients, and then we cannot manage the business clients. Manage is not available there. Only viewing is possible. So this completes all the activities on the financials. Now tomorrow we are going to jump directly into inventory from 32 steps. Step number 32. What happens? We'll be jumping into inventory now. Any doubts on this now till now? And now stop sharing. Anybody has got any doubts? So on the created structure, what happens? We are going to set up the inventory activity, then the HCM, and then afterwards procurement. So all the setups will be done on this now. And then afterwards, we will go ahead and then perform the transactions.
So Nana, as of now, we have completed with the entire enterprise structure and the
not enterprise structure. Only up to BU we have completed. Now we have to create the inventory orgs now.
Okay. Because when you say BU, all this enterprise and everything, we take just a second to correlate with the EBIS terms.
EBIS also, okay. Ledger is created, legal entity is created, the business unit is created. Now we have to create the inventory org. Now we are in the next part of it. So only when you complete the inventory org creation, then means what happens, the structure is complete now. And then afterwards, what happens, we'll be going ahead and then go to the HCM and then do the HCM activity. In EBIS, what happens, we have got 4 activities: job, position, employment, and the hierarchy. Here we have got one more extra, that is department. So the job, department, position, employment, and hierarchy are the activities which are doing in HCM. And then once when that is done, what happens, we will now jump into procurement setups now.
Okay, got it.
Anybody else?
So all the when you say task, it's like all the setups is being mentioned in a task manner, right?
Yeah, everything has been made as a task now. No need to worry about the navigation at all. If you remember the task name, that's it. I can go and then write it and then do the task.
Okay.
What happens for the approval groups? You have to go to setups, approval groups, and like that. What happens? The navigational path you don't have to remember at all. So simple.
So everything, all the setups, just to avoid the sake of navigation, they have made it as a task, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just for the sake of navigation, they have made everything as a task, and then the task can be directly entered, and then you can go to the page. The UI will be automatically opening it up now once the task is now entered.
Okay. Now
unable to speak now, so they are putting a message in this one. Where we can find table name info infusion is a very good one. But unfortunately, I don't know about it because our technical team is so adamant, and then they don't even want to reveal anything at all. Whatever we want, I have to tell them, and then what happens, they configure the reports and then give it to us. They already fed up on this now because they were unable to have what's called changing of any tables in the backend. Basically, here what happens, the ADF technology is used now, not OAF. OAF is used in R12. Here what happens, they choose the ADF fine application. I don't know what exactly all these things fine. This is what they say. ADF is advanced technology. And then they use the ADF, application desktop framework or something like that. Right? And then the table names and all, you cannot access through Toad actually. Fine. You don't have any Toad access here. But there is some other access. Right? They have other accesses. They can access everything. Now they say that what happens, some fields can be or editable basically. The sysadmin can very well make a change now. So otherwise what happens, we only have to raise a SR and then ask the what's called Oracle to make a change now. Now in release 12, that will be having what happens more functionality. Like what happens, you can even have an on-premise version as well as a cloud version. Only cloud version will be having restrictions, whereas on-premise you'll be having control. Any other questions? So good. And then what happens? I hope that you understood everything, and then start to practice each and everything. Fine. For some of them, tomorrow is a holiday, Telangana formation day. So try to practice each and everything, and then meet at 10:30 p.m. on Friday evening, India.
And Nana, you told us, we are having sessions on weekends.
No, so that's why somebody, Dinesh told me that what happens, some people are having some restrictions, and so we'll not have any session on weekends. That's what they say. They want to travel or they want to enjoy. Fine.
Yes, Nana. And most of the guys, they want to travel to the native. That's a problem.
Fine. So enjoy with your girlfriends, stroke boyfriends on Saturday and Sunday.
No, actually weekends we'll get time to practice. Weekdays I'm not getting time to practice at all because work. I'm finishing work only now.
Oh God.
So Saturday, Sunday I can at least practice for some time. Okay. That's the main intention actually.
Any other questions for everybody?
Nana, any idea how long till the instance will be available? It's like, just
no idea. Because they have already started, and then it all depends upon the mercy of all. Feel like they will close immunity, or if you are allowing it, I don't know how long they will allow it.
Okay. So it's good to practice soon as possible. Right?
That's what I'm saying. You try to practice it. Otherwise, what happens? You'll not have instance. But of course, your company Wipro has got an instance. I know that Wipro has got an instance. So you can even take the instance from your management because one team came from Wipro. Then they told that we have a instance. That's what they're saying. So you're all diamond partners. So what happens? You'll have instances to practice.
Okay, Nana.
Okay, fine,
Thank you.
So we'll now meet at 10:30 tomorrow.
Thank you.
Sure, Nana. Bye.